Look, we have free speech in this country. Our side is for free speech, but there are consequences of your speech, and your employer doesn't have to keep you. Nexstar doesn't have to continue running your terrible show. Frankly, he killed comedy. This late-night talk show hosts who aren't funny have killed comedy.
Yes, that is a great Republican woman, Carrie Lake, on Newsmax TV last night, laying it out. That was 100% true. Good stuff. Good stuff by her. I tell you, the Democrat Party just keeps picking fights, and when they start shooting, I think they've got our attention. You guys. Well, a very good Thursday to you, and welcome back once again. We remain at 888-630-9625. I have politicians for you. I apologize for that in advance. Saying crazy things about Charlie Kirk, who was just assassinated. And, the Democrats, they've got a long history of political violence, and they're keeping it going because they're not old-fashioned, but they do like to keep the violence alive. I'll give them credit for that, I suppose. Remarkable people they are. How many American presidents have been assassinated? How many have been Republican? How many have been Democrat? And the political violence in the United States of America. Let's go back to 1968 and the Students for a Democratic Society and the Weather Underground and the Chicago Democratic Convention riots and go into which they still blame the police for. They still, all these decades later, they still blame the police. People that weren't born for 30 years after that are blaming the police in Chicago for the Democrats and the lefties creating the riots at the Democratic Convention in Chicago in 1968. Honestly, a member of the Democrat Party assassinated Martin Luther King Jr., and the Democrat Party, they get to wash their hands of it because of academia and the rest. Now, I've got a lot that I want to share with you, and I want to get the Lizard King, Chuck Schumer, and the offensive, the horrible things that he said, and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't have a show, at least for the time being, and I suspect that his show will not be back. But another lefty network will doubtless hire him. I don't know if they get, what do they pay him, like $30 million a year? What is that? Because those shows pay pretty well. And you have teams of writers and producers in a writer-producer room. They come up with the monologues and write them up, and they say, hey, this will be great. Yeah, we'll call the guy that killed Charlie Kirk a dyed-in-the-wool MAGA supporter. And they must laugh, knowing how ridiculously false it is, how wrong it is. But they write it. They put it in the scripts. Presumably, Jimmy Kimmel reviews the scripts before he goes out on stage and reads the script in the teleprompter. And they all agreed, yeah, we're going to call the killer a Trump supporter, a MAGA supporter. And that's, it's like, it reminds me of Goebbels in the movie The Producers, the great Mel Brooks movie, The Producers. He's singing and, playing his fake bass. And he said, he's the minister of propaganda. And he said this.
Oh, baby. Hey, baby. What's happening?
I just laid the morning propaganda broadcast on the people.
You're putting me on. What did they say?
I told the people we invaded England.
Hey, that's a groove, Daddy. How did we come out?
We beat them, baby.
That's my Joe. That's my little Joe. I love my little Joe.
I love my little Joe. That's Hitler. Dick Shawn said loving his little Joe is propagandist, right? And then you got Jimmy Kimmel, who is a Democrat Party propagandist on the ABC television network.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
He says with the biggest lie since Joseph Goebbels died, and they're trying to score political points on it as he is trying to score political points on it when he's supposed to be doing an entertainment show, a comedy show. Now, nobody has to watch it, and I haven't watched it in ages. But the Democrat Party there, and then they call everybody Nazis when they're so close to Joseph Goebbels, and Hitler's party was the Socialist Workers' Party, and the Democrat Party is the Socialist Workers' Party of America. And they, exterminate more than 1 million babies a year, and they harvest their organs. That would make Dr. Yusuf Mengele very proud, what the Democrats do. And they exterminate 40% of the black population in the womb as a routine matter year after year. And they firebomb the Jewish governor's house, the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. And they firebombed the pro-Israel marchers in Colorado not so long ago. And they terrorize and intimidate Jewish students and faculty on the campuses of Ivy League universities. And then they call everybody Nazis. No sense of irony, these people. Firebombing everything, looting, pillaging, plundering. And then say, hey, we believe in free speech. But get a load of this. The Democrats don't believe in free speech. They believe in trampling free speech. We've been talking about this on the radio show for a great many years on college campuses where they set up penned-in areas, and they called them their free speech zones, where on Constitution Day, a student showed up with U.S. Constitutions, the little booklets you can put in your pocket, and was handing them out to people, and the campus police and the campus leadership came in and stopped him from handing out U.S. Constitutions on Constitution Day. If it had been Mao's little red book, doubtless they would have been fine with it. They're quite amazing. Now, let's go to, because they don't believe in free speech, there's another they don't believe in free speech story, and they created cancel culture and all of that. But here is a story out of Starbucks. Starbucks barista. That's the guy that gets you the coffee, or a woman. Starbucks barista did not want to write Charlie Kirk's name on coffee cup in viral video. There's a viral video. That doesn't mean it's a disease. It's just out there on the internet. And this is just a run-of-the-mill Democrat. When you go to Starbucks, which I don't do, they write your name on the coffee cup. You go up and you order your coffee and say, I'm Michael Piercy. And they say, okay, Michael Piercy. And then a few minutes later, they might yell your name, I guess, or put the coffee cup on the counter with your name, Michael Piercy, on it. So Starbucks confirms there is no policy in place about preventing Charlie Kirk's name from being written on drinks. But there's a Democrat there, and you give a Democrat a thimble full of power, that can be being a barista at Starbucks, and they'll abuse it before the sun goes down. So a viral video posted on TikTok shows a Starbucks barista refused to write Charlie Kirk's name on an order. Many fans have been paying tribute to Charlie Kirk by ordering his favorite drink at the coffee chain, a Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys. That sounds wacky. The TikToker recorded 2 videos, the first sharing that her husband went to order the drink at a Starbucks in, Yucaipa, California, naturally California, and the barista told him he had to pick a different name. That's in quotation marks. Pick a different name, because they don't honor politics here. He says as he's honoring politics, it's just left-wing Communist Party politics, because that's what they do. Since then she, the lady, then went on to the same Starbucks herself. Her husband did this, right? She then went to the same Starbucks herself to see what would happen, according to the video, and ordered the drink with Kirk's name. When the barista asked for the name of the order, the user responded, Charlie Kirk, right? Responded Charlie Kirk. But the barista, here we go, says, we can't do political names. But it didn't even ask for a name to begin with, so that'll be $3.75, okay? That must be the least expensive Starbucks coffee.
What was the name for the order? Or actually, we need a name.
The name is Charlie Kirk.
We can't do political names, but it didn't even ask for a name to begin with, so it's going to be $3.75, okay?
Oh, but can you write the name on the cup?
The sticker won't print.
Oh, you can't write on that?
I could, but I could write Charlie.
Why can't you write the whole name?
Because it's political.
Political?
Yes, yeah. Let me start your PCB, okay? And it's going to be $3.75 today.
You know what? Forget it. I don't want it.
Okay. Now, Starbucks confirmed to Fox News Digital that there is no policy preventing Charlie Kirk's name from being used. And a spokesperson said Starbucks is working to understand what took place in this store. And it's a pretty good response from Starbucks, I've got to say. Fox News Digital also reached out to the TikToker for comment and permission to share the video. Kirk was asked at a Turning Point conference about a month ago his Starbucks order. So now people know what a Starbucks order is. He said, I literally drink for one reason, because I lose my voice very easily. Drink like 9 of them a day. Otherwise, I lose my voice, Charlie Kirk said. But I got to say, I don't think Starbucks is necessarily a bad guy here. It's a big lefty company, of course, but they gave the right answer. And this dim-witted bimbo, can I say dim-witted bimbo? This dim-witted bimbo, I think, made a tragic error. But they feel free. Oh, it's political. And Starbucks says there's no such policy. We don't have a policy, anything like that. Isn't that amazing? And people are going to Starbucks and ordering their coffees, their drinks, their whatever else you get at Starbucks with the name Charlie Kirk. I think that's kind of fun, and it's a nice, passive, polite way of honoring an assassinated fellow American and Christian who was killed for being an American and a Christian by the Democrat Party. And this gay guy with his boyfriend who thinks that he's a girlfriend, and some of the media do too. And they have adoring news reports at ABC News. Honestly, you got late night TV at night that's all Democrat Party propaganda. You got The View in the middle of the day that's Democrat Party propaganda. You have World News Tonight at 6:30 Eastern Time p.m., where you got the fake news reporters adoring the murderer's love notes to his boyfriend. And then in the morning, of course, you have the Democrat Party White House official, George Stephanopoulos, who never had a day of journalism in his life after he left the Clinton White House and was immediately hired as a multi-million-dollar network news anchor. That's how that works. Man, oh man, oh man. I tell you, back in 2017, Charlie Kirk on his Twitter account at the time, which was Charlie Kirk 11, and Charlie Kirk in 2017 tweeted out a very simple and eloquent phrase: Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. 2017, Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. Now Sinclair ABC stations are planning on airing a Charlie Kirk special during Jimmy Kimmel's time slot. That is tomorrow night, I believe, Friday night. I think that's correct. And dozens of stations across the country that are ABC stations, but they're, these companies are complicated now. Sinclair Broadcast Group called Jimmy Kimmel's comments inappropriate and deeply insensitive. That would be generous understatement, I think. But dozens of ABC affiliate stations will air a tribute special to Charlie Kirk in Jimmy Kimmel's time slot on Friday. That's tomorrow night. Following the liberal host's controversial remarks about the conservative activist's alleged assassin. He's an alleged assassin, apparently. Isn't that great? And that's great. Good for Sinclair. I think that will include, that's 30 ABC affiliates. I believe that Washington, D.C. will be included in that. I'm going to hit my DVR for the first time ever for the Kimmel show, or for that time slot anyway. And we have that, and I still haven't gotten to my members of Congress and their hate speech, but that's coming right up. Hey, do you want to live a better digital life, on Al Gore's amazing internet? You hear about the news that a major credit card reporting agency had a data breach recently that affected more than 4 million people here in the United States of America? It's yet another prime example of why it's so important to have a product like WebRoot and their Total Protection Plan. Their Total Protection Plan includes antivirus protection against emerging threats like malware, ransomware, phishing, scams. Identity theft protection is in there for up to 10 identities, different devices, VPN, cloud backup, and a whole lot more. This plan also includes up to $1 million American dollars in fraud expense reimbursement if you're robbed online. They've got 24/7 U.S.-based customer service support and elder fraud hotline. So, mom thinks, hey, this email looks like a scam. they've got a line for you. Even identified dark web monitoring. It's amazing. It's all part of their all-in-one product with plans for both individuals and families. WebRoot allows me to live a better digital life, so let WebRoot Total Protection give you peace of mind in the wake of these evolving digital threats. Right now, you get 50% off, half off of WebRoot Total Protection or WebRoot Essentials Plan when you go to webroot.com/plant. Again, 50% off WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials when you go to webroot.com/plant. Yes, sir. All right. Nasty, mean, hateful, hate speech Democrats coming up. And I am going to get to the Democrat members of Congress and all that, but I keep seeing the great American people up on the big board, and I have to go there. Let's go to Joyce, calling from Garner, North Carolina, listening on Al Gore's amazing internet. Joyce, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Joyce.
Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you.
I told your call screener that if I walk into Starbucks and I say I want Charlie Kirk, the name Charlie Kirk written on my cup, don't they have to do that? Because if I identify as Charlie Kirk, doesn't that sort of go with their ideology?
I think so. I think it definitely does go with their ideology. And I'm going to guess, I don't want to walk out on any limbs here, but you're a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am. Always have been.
I can tell by your voice since you stopped being a girl, you started being a woman. And the Democrats reject
70
that.
years now.
Cut it out. Get out of here. You sound like a 30-year-old. And
thank you.
Your name is Joyce, and your
Yes.
voice is very feminine. So I concluded in my misogynistic way that you're a woman. So when you go in and you say I'm Charlie, some women are named Charlie, but you can say
that's right.
But that doesn't even matter. That's not important because you identify as Charlie Kirk.
Exactly.
Then what can they say? There's no retreat.
There isn't.
There's no
They're up
quarter.
against a wall, and they know it.
They really are. And now, again, I'll give the company credit because they said we have no such policy. And whatever this woman in California was talking about, we don't support it. We don't know. But now I think it's really fun, and make your reservations at restaurants in the name Charlie Kirk. Use the name Charlie Kirk everywhere. Yeah, and the more it's in the faces of Democrats everywhere, I think the better for everyone. Joyce, and you have a charming laugh as well.
Oh, thank you.
See, there it is right there. Wonderful. Jake Tapper, former Democrat Capitol Hill staffer, now CNN fanker, a fake anchorman. He's posted a video of himself, and he's sowing a wild-eyed conspiracy theory. He's a wild conspiracy theory peddling Democrat Party apparatchik posing as a journalist. He got to start because he wrote an article about his date with Monica Lewinsky in the City paper in Washington. And then before you knew it, he was a famous $1 million news anchor. Now, the craziness and Jake Tapper is saying, the FCC and Nexstar are involved in some kind of a conspiracy so that Nexstar can get FCC approval to take over another media outfit. And he doesn't provide any evidence that that's the case. He just said, here's the timing. But he posted a ridiculous video. Now, this all happened, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, because Sinclair Broadcasting, which owns a bunch of ABC stations across the country, and Nexstar, 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 Nexstar owns a lot of ABC affiliates across the country. And they saw what Jimmy Kimmel had done, and they said, you know what? That's not the business we're in. We're not going to air the Jimmy Kimmel show on our stations anymore. Sinclair Broadcasting, which leans, and Nexstar leans, not lefty anyway. I don't know if they lean conservative, but they don't lean lefty. And Sinclair Broadcasting, which I'd say leans a little bit right, and so they might be pro-American and pro-truth, and they might speak the English language well. But dozens of ABC stations, affiliate stations, will air a tribute special for Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel's time slot on Friday night, following the liberal host's controversial remarks about the conservative activist's alleged assassin. Sinclair Broadcast Group, which operates 30 ABC affiliates across the country, announced on Wednesday it would air the special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk after Disney decided to pull Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. Now, Sinclair had joined Nexstar, another owner of ABC affiliates, in preempting Kimmel's late-night program before Disney's decision. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country, Sinclair Vice Chairman Jason Smith said in a statement. I think that would be generous language. Sinclair, which had come under criticism from other media outlets for airing right-leaning content. No, only left-leaning content is allowed. Just ask Jake Tapper and the rest of the media. Said it would not lift the suspension until formal discussions were held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. And again, they have cancel culture. We have accountability culture. They're not in favor of accountability because it would not favor them. Accountability is not what they're looking for. And remarkable stuff. Sinclair also called upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family, to Charlie Kirk's widow and his little children, 3-year-old and 1-year-old children that he has. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA, the company stated. That's what Sinclair said. That's wonderful. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform, FCC licensing and all that stuff. Earlier in the day, Nexstar Media Group announced it was preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live on its ABC affiliates. This is how this works. And this is a fight for civility and for decency in the United States of America. But the left is against civility. The left is against decency. The left is for bloodshed. That's the left, and the left has taken over the Democrat Party from what I can tell. So remarkable things going on. And of course, the Democrats are blaming Trump because that's what they do. If it's a bad weather day, they blame Trump. If there's traffic in Los Angeles, they blame Trump. If there's murder in Chicago, they blame Trump. And it's all Democrats creating the murder in Chicago and the traffic in Los Angeles and on and on. And the bad weather days, too. I think it's them because of all the methane they release, the Democrats. Yeah, on Monday, Jimmy Kimmel accused conservatives of reaching new lows in trying to pin a left-wing ideology on 22-year-old assassination murder suspect Tyler Robinson, even though prosecutors reaffirmed those ties in Tuesday's indictment. We hit some new lows over the weekend, Jimmy Kimmel said, with the MAGA gang, desperately trying to characterize this kid, he's just a kid, who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. Yeah, because he's definitely a MAGA Trump supporter who assassinated from a rooftop with a rifle Charlie Kirk, who may be responsible for Donald Trump winning re-election, winning his second election. And that makes a lot of sense if you're really brain damaged, very severely brain damaged, as so many Democrats are. So that's what the idiot Kimmel said. Yeah, the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid, he's just a kid, who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. and doing everything they can to score political points from it. He said as he's attempting to score political points from it while propagating the biggest lie since Joseph Goebbels died. You think Joseph Goebbels died, or is he still working for the Democrats? Kimmel received sharp criticism for appearing to suggest that the killer was a MAGA supporter. He just appeared to suggest that. Some of his defenders, Kimmel's defenders, have suggested he's being taken out of context or mischaracterized. In fact, he himself has said that this was taken out of context, and he's lying, just as he was lying when he said it was a MAGA supporter that shot and killed, that assassinated Charlie Kirk, when it was obviously a gay Democrat with a transgender-thinking boyfriend, and then the news media. We had even Lawrence Tribe, the famous and now notorious Harvard law professor emeritus, who also made an outrageous, outlandish, slanderous, malignant claim, a giant lie that it was a Trump supporter that had killed Charlie Kirk. We played it the other day, and it's just a huge lie, But they're perfectly comfortable lying like this. Now, speaking of people comfortable lying, let's go to Chuck Schumer. He is the Lizard King, as you know. And again, ABC has George Stephanopoulos in the morning. They have The View, which is an ABC News product. It's on the ABC News budget. And they're ABC News people, allegedly. They don't do news or journalism or anything. And then they have Jimmy Kimmel at night. And these are propaganda outlets for the left, for the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party is a violent party. All right, so let's go to Chuck Schumer. The Lizard King, you may remember, speaking of violence, he incited violence against the Supreme Court. And you will reap the whirlwind. You will pay the price. Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. And he's threatening Supreme Court justices, the angry Lizard King that he is. And a short time after that, a Democrat gunman showed up outside the home of Brett Kavanaugh with the aim of killing him.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Yeah, you won't know what hits you if you go forward with these awful decisions. And don't worry about it. Roe versus Wade was overturned, and then you had more abortions, more baby killings the next year than you did the year before. But that's okay because Democrats. And the guy that was going to assassinate Nicholas Roski, attempting to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh, and he was planning on murdering two other Supreme Court justices, too. He had a gun. He had extra magazines of ammo. He had kidnapping tools. He had burglary tools. And he was arrested. He's a Democrat. Chuck Schumer, yesterday on Jimmy Kimmel being suspended. He went on CNN where they gave him a tongue bath, which is ugly. I know it's Chuck Schumer. And he is out there defending Jimmy Kimmel and his hate speech. They love hate speech because they hate almost everybody. And then they talk about them. So it's Democrat Party hate speech. Here's the Lizard King.
It is outrageous. It's a page right out of Xi's playbook. This is just despicable, disgusting, and against democratic values. Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear. That is not what democracies do. That is what autocracies do. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with Kimmel or not. He has the right to free speech. And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy, and I am just outraged by it. Again, this is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do. We are not that country.
He's a communist lizard. He's a scaly reptile, not even a human being at all. He's quite remarkable. He wants to shut down. First of all, Trump had nothing to do with it. Let's start with this. There is no line from ABC dropping Jimmy Kimmel's show, putting it on suspension. They haven't even canceled it and fired him and taken away his $14 million salary. But this rhetoric from Schumer is the rhetoric of Xi Jinping, the communist dictator of communist China, of Kim Jong-un, the communist dictator of North Korea. He's the guy that incited a psychopathic gunman named Nicholas Roski, a Democrat, in 2022 to try to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh and 2 other Supreme Court justices. He is a vile, repugnant, disgusting, despicable, and he used the words despicable and disgusting. Trump and his allies want to shut down speech. That's not what democracies do. You guys have been shutting people down and cancel culturing our great country for years and years now. You filthy reptile. And I apologize to filthy reptiles everywhere because reptiles tend to be cleaner than Schumer. That's for sure. Jamie Raskin is a Democrat member of the House of Representatives from Maryland. And he is also known as the Lost Marx Brother. If you look at the 4 Marx Brothers, even 5, side by side, you see that Jamie Raskin would fit right in. He went on CNN also, and notice there are no interruptions, and nobody says, but Senator Schumer, there's no reason to believe that President Trump was behind ABC canceling the Kimmel show. Nobody says that. They sit there and they nod and they smirk, and they're like lizards too, and that's why nobody believes them and nobody watches them, because they're a filthy, corrupt network. And honestly, all right, so here's Jamie Raskin. He's a Democrat member of Congress. And again, there is no reason to believe that Trump said, hey, ABC, you got to suspend or cancel Jimmy Kimmel because of what he said, blaming Republicans for assassinating Charlie Kirk on your national network with your FCC license. No reason whatsoever to believe that there's any connective tissue. But these lizards, they come out and say it's Trump's fault that ABC, Nexstar, Sinclair objected to what he said. Jamie Raskin.
It's absolute corruption of government, and it's absolute violation of the free speech rights of the people.
No, it's not.
And of the media.
No, it's not.
And this is really taking us back to the days of King George.
No, it's not.
Where it was a crime to insult the president. They didn't like what Jimmy Kimmel said about Donald Trump. So basically, you insult the president, and he uses the full power of the federal government, the Federal Communications Commission, to threaten everything you want to do with your business and all your broadcast licenses.
Didn't happen.
Unless you pay him off through the various lawsuits that he has filed, the sham lawsuits he's filed against you, or you get rid of the people who dare to offend the king.
Filed. There are no lawsuits filed against ABC for what Jimmy Kimmel said. That's a complete lie. He's a filthy liar, and he's not doing it. But it's the same rhetoric. Everybody's Hitler. Everybody's a Nazi, except this guy. He's Jewish, and he's firebombing Jews, I think. I've got more of Raskin coming up because this rhetoric from the left is the rhetoric that got Donald Trump shot by a sniper. This is the rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk shot and killed by a sniper. This is the rhetoric that got Republican Congressman Steve Scalise shot and nearly killed by a mad gunman with a Chinese combat rifle who was planning on a mass political assassination on a baseball diamond and had to be gunned down by the police in his suicide attack. A lot of Democrat suicide attacks. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier has finally arrived, and it builds on the incredible success of the previous generations, which have already earned thousands of 5-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. This new Thunderstorm uses 2 technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria, viruses, floating in the air that you breathe, removes dust and pet dander and smoke from the air, and it gets rid of any stinky odor. You don't have to buy filters to replace again and again either. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell guaranteed. Trash cans, kitty litter boxes, cigarette smoke, left-wing protesters. No match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. Give it a few seconds, and right now you can save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. Put one in your basement, your teenager's room, any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code Chris3 to save $200 because we hang out together on 3 thunderstorms. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Chris and the number 3. Yes, sir. All right, so the Democrats are out in full force with their Hitler, Goebbels, Nazi hate speech. They ought to be canceled.
I just can't believe I got suspended.
Let's go back to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Terry, calling from Woodbridge, Virginia. Terry, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Great job as usual, Chris. I'm looking at my dog-eared copy of the Constitution here. I'm not finding where it says that I have the right to a 11:30 time slot on a network. And I'm not sure that Trump has sent Kimmel to a gulag or Guantanamo anywhere. As far as I know, Kimmel can still say whatever cockamamie thing he wants. He can rent a billboard, get himself on a talk show. He could shout it with a bullhorn from the roof of his house if he wants. I don't understand what right he has had taken away from him. Could somebody please explain this to me?
Well, I like to say that the Democrats use the words, but they don't know what they mean. And you've got Senator Chuck Schumer, Jamie Raskin. Oh, it's rights. It's Xi Jinping. First of all, there is no connective tissue that anyone can point to, Terry, between President Trump or the Trump White House and what ABC decided to do after their stations, and this is very, very Democratic, the stations, Nexstar and the other guys, they said this is too much. This is not what we do, and so they decided they're going to pull the show from their stations. What could be more Democratic than that, Terry?
They have rights too. I mean, if you're a CEO and you're running a company, it's a business. You have rights. Are the CEOs not Americans too? There's no right to just say whatever you want without any consequences. I have rules I got to play by where I work, or I will get fired. That's how we don't shoot each other in the street all day long, because we have to be civilized. That's part of civilization.
Well, that's right. And I've got to say the left does not represent the best of civilization. It's Sinclair. I apologize. And Nextel. And good for them for standing up for decency.